I've been trying to ditch the iPad for a long time, and I've started my challenge of using the Samsung Galaxy Tab 8. It's been an interesting ride for this first week. Let's check it out, just like you should check out our sponsor. Sponsor of today's video is Plain White Envelopes. Do you have that family member who still lives in the 1990s that doesn't use email? Use a plain white envelope to get a message to them. Are you in trouble with the law and need to send legal documents to your lawyer? Use a plain white envelope. Do you just like your post office and the postal workers that work there and you want to have them keep their jobs? Use a plain white envelope. Thank you, Plain White Envelopes, for sponsoring this video. So I've been actually looking for an iPad replacement for a while. I haven't really used Apple as my primary devices in a long time. The big holdout is actually the iPad Pro that I use. There just hasn't been a tablet that can compete. So this Christmas I gave myself the challenge of using the Samsung Galaxy A8 tab for a month to see if I can transition through. And I thought I was going to do a full video at the end of 30 days, but I've had thoughts here and there that I've been recording, and now it's so much that it's actually its own video. So let's transition to my first day thoughts and then come back to what I think after a week. All right, so this is towards the end of day one where I've switched to my Samsung Galaxy Tab A8, for a month. And I've given my iPad Pro to my mother to use for the month just so she can, watch content. Pretty much she's just going to watch shows on it. She's not going to do anything. She's not going to email. She didn't delete any of the information off because I expect it back. But, I spent most of the day yesterday setting up the apps, and that took, about a day to fully get it to resolve itself. And I've run into one of the first big problems with buying a lower storage Android tablet. It's that apps don't want to switch over to the external storage. So I put another 64 gigabytes on it because I don't have a lot of apps on my iPad. Yes, it has 256 gigs, but I don't use anywhere near that. It's really just for content, like consumption. It's not creation. So that's why I have on this. I have my library apps where I can get ebooks, I can get magazines, I have all my video apps, I have email, and that's basically it. This isn't like meant to be a primary device. And well, let me rephrase. It's meant to be a primary consumption device. I don't watch things on my phone unless I have to. I will either stream to a TV or I'll use a tablet. And the biggest problem right now is I'm running into that storage limit because this is only 32 gigabytes. And when you aren't able to move the apps to the SD card, it fills up quickly. And it was already pretty filled just with the system apps. And that seems like a huge flaw for Android. And I looked it up online. It isn't Samsung's fault. It isn't Google's fault. It's the app developers. They're just kind of too lazy to make their app available to be moved. And it's hurting the experience a little bit because I did look up video editing on a tablet on this to really push the specs, and it's like, well, if I can't move it, like all this storage, all these files are going to be stuck on internal, and this very short part of this video is gonna be a couple hundred megabytes. That's huge. If I even tried to edit this video from my Samsung S21 FE that I'm recording this on right now to this Galaxy Tab A8, it would fill this thing up quickly. It really would. So I see that being the major hindrance. It has had some weird issues. When I type like this. I type vertically, and I'm so used to typing quickly. The keyboard is kind of hitting multiple buttons at once because I'm holding it like this. It's one of these tablets that they kind of expect you to hold it, landscape rather than vertical. But that's not a real big issue. I haven't really had major concerns about app stability. There's only one app that I haven't really gotten to load, and that's one of the library apps, and it seems not to recognize the library. And these are basic apps that I don't know who follows through with them, but it would be nice. It's a nicety, not a necessity. But yeah, with my fast charger, it charges quickly. It should be a little bit more simpler than this, but I see this foresee this becoming a little bit more challenging. I know there's going to be naysayers that are like, "Oh, you didn't get like the top of the line one," and you're talking about an old iPad Pro. Yeah, but I want to experience what most of you would experience. Like you would go for mostly if you don't have the $1,000 ballpark, and please don't yell at me in the comments for an iPad Pro, or just a couple hundred. Was it $450 now for just the base iPad? This looks like a good deal. It really is. It was $149 for me, and I had expandable storage. I think many of us have SD cards or even micro SD cards, which this uses lying around. Like it should be a solid pickup. But moving past that idea that you can't use the expandable storage for all your apps, that's going to be a big hindrance. Now, if I was to say give this to my mother to use instead of the iPad, I don't see her intuitively understand Samsung's system. It's nice because I do have a Samsung phone as my primary daily driver, but I was reading a cookbook because we're going to bake some cookies, and the whole page took up everything. There was no movement buttons, no home button, no back button, no close all app buttons. But I didn't have the Samsung before because every Android is a little different. If I didn't have the Samsung as my primary daily driver as a phone, I wouldn't have known what to do. So initial thoughts, this is going to be kind of a video that is all over the place because it's going to be over a month, and I'm going to do all of these confessionals a couple times over. So, well, I'll check back in, and there's not going to be very good transitions. So, yep, that was a horrible transition. I really got to work on those. Gotta use the words, the talky talk. But here we are a week later, and I have been using Samsung Galaxy Tab A8, and it's been different, and I still have a bunch of glitches with it, especially with typing. I still do have the issues that it doesn't save the apps to the SD card, but it has gotten better. And as you can see, I've added, I don't know what this, like this trifold, dual fold, but this is definitely just the iPad design. I know a lot of people catch flack for saying that, but it really came with the iPad too. So I'm going to stick with that. But I have been experiencing it, and all the content absorption apps, they work fine. They work perfectly fine. I did try to download a content creation app so I can edit videos on this, and it failed. 32 gigabytes is just not enough for a tablet or phone these days, considering how large apps are and the responsiveness that I need to create within the app. So that was an epic failure. I do at the beginning, I did love the fact that it has a headphone jack, and using this now, I'm up in the air about the headphone jack, whether it's important or not. Yes, I do like having a dedicated line. It's better audio. I can use the headphones easier on different devices if they have headphone jacks, but I've had Bluetooth headphones for about a decade now, so I'm gonna have to get back to that one, especially since most phones don't have it, most tablets don't have it anymore, and I'm gonna have to really think about that one. So I do have a bunch of positives about this device. I still like the fact that it's landscape mode. I don't really do video calling or anything like that, but it's just, it makes more sense they hold it this way. It'd be insane if they had dual cameras. Insane. I have found more benefits because this is going to come up in another video. I do have a Z Fold Flip 3 that I've been working with, and I've attached it to the same accounts as the tablet, and they're working seamlessly together, just as I expect. Any iOS device, yeah, the talky talk, it's tough. Any iOS device to work with each other, and I'm very impressed by that. That's been a big holdout for Android, is the fact that there isn't that great communication between different devices. And right now, it looks like Samsung's got it. I didn't do it initially because my primary phone, the one I'm filming on right now, is the S23 S21 FE edition. So I didn't link it to my primary devices because I didn't know how long I was going to use this, and I didn't realize I was going to get a good deal on a Z Flip. And so that's going to be a completely different video. I can't wait to talk about it. But the interconnectivity of the apps on each of them, it really is flawless. It's what you expect from a tablet and a phone from the same company. It's what Apple has had done for a long time, and really should be the standard. It really should be the standard. I'm a little disappointed about Google not being able to do it, but again, that's a whole nother video about my gripes with Google. So I like the screen, the content absorption apps, what you take in. They're working amazingly. Headphone jack is nice. Expandable storage is nice. I don't see the point of expandable storage if you can't, offload apps onto it. I might have, if I knew that going in, I thought that would be resolved, because I had that same problem with some device a long time ago that was Android, and I would figure that would be done by now. One thing that I'm so very impressed by in the app department is a fully functional Instagram app for the tablet. Usually on the iPad, I've had troubles with the Instagram app, and it's funny because the Instagram app on an iPhone is so superior to it being on an Android device. It's like the Flip, it just blows my mind. So I'm really happy about that, because I do a lot of work with photos and Instagram and getting posts and likes and followers and all that stuff. And it's really tough because sometimes you do want to look at a bigger device, and Instagram, the app for Windows and using it on a browser, it's not a great experience. It really is a mobile app, and I am very happy to see that. So yeah, I mean, this has been a lot more positive experience over the week that I'm settling in versus what I started with. And I still have those same problems, like I said, of mistyping things, apps shutting down because where it's stored, or it stores some data on the internal and then some on the external. So yeah, those are growing pains. So I'm hoping that it somehow I figure out how to resolve it, because the whole point of this is not just so I can be like, oh, I'm done with Apple. No, I love my iPad Pro, and probably will go back to it if I can steal it back from my mother. But we just need more competition in the market. I feel like the fact that I'm using such an old iPad Pro, and it still has pretty much the features that a new one has, it shows how stale technology market has become. And more competition will make for better, more clever devices, just people trying things out, and that's something I want to see. So I'm hoping that this is a viable solution. Maybe not for me, who does do some content creation right now, but say for my mother, who literally just watches things on the iPad. She looks at Facebook. Yes, she's old. Answers messages. So, it doesn't have to be amazing things, especially for a large population that, really doesn't use a computer anymore in the traditional sense, that uses phones and tablets. So having a different option, and an option that is easy to use. I will say this, because it's Samsung and it's the same experience across all devices, this has become easy to use. It has become very easy to use. And, that is a huge part of it. That is a huge part, is just the user interface and the experience. So I'm pleasantly surprised. But the next video will probably be 2 weeks away. We are, in the holiday season, a few days away from Christmas as I'm posting this. and then it's going to be the New Year's, and I'm definitely going to put up a different video than just talking about the Samsung Galaxy Tab A8. A little bit more fun. I do have some great ideas, especially now that I have the Z Flip. Oh, do I want to get into that? But a little bit more fun before the end of the year. If you don't check out one of my videos by then, I hope you have a fantastic holiday season and a great new year. And again, if you've reached this point, you're amazing. I love you. Thanks so much. Hit the like, subscribe, all those buttons. Have a great one, everyone. Bye.